everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to show you from scratch how to set up a stocks and shares ISA. This is predominantly for people who are in the UK. So I know there's a lot of people in America that watch these videos. Hey guys, nice to see you again. But this is predominantly for a UK audience at the minute. So I am of course an Irish person, but I've lived in the UK in London now for over 10 years. I pay my taxes over here, so I'm able to set up a stocks and shares ISA here. So if you really want to get into investing, I would really recommend to watch this and maybe follow it along as I'm showing you, and you can set up an investment account in less than 10 minutes. It's that quick. People are always so freaked out about investing and don't know where to start. Set up an S&P 500 index tracker and put £100 every month into that account. I can show you how to do that right now. Let's go. So let's get started. If you're brand new to investing, this shall hopefully help you. I hadn't a clue about how to do investing many years ago, and I started a Vanguard account to start my investing journey. So I think they're the best. I will show you why I think they're the best. So if we go down to the fees of Vanguard. So firstly, Vanguard is like a brokerage and they will have stocks and shares ISAs available. You can also get ISAs from many other different institutions as well, which I'll show you. But for Vanguard, they have one of the lowest fees in the world, So in this one, they only charge 0.15% of an account fee, okay? And if we go to some of their competitors in the UK, such as Hargreaves Lansdown, they're quite a big one, a big player. Their fees, if you scroll down here, are more expensive at 0.45% for their fees, as well as other charges that they have, which Vanguard don't have. So just a bit of a watch out on who you choose, because it basically means the more fees you're paying, the less of the investment you're getting back. So you obviously want the most amount of money that you have earned in interest back into your pocket. So I think Vanguard is best for that. Another one is Fidelity, which is this one, just to show you. Again, it's an American company. You can get an ISA in the UK as well, and their fees, and here we go, bingo. So if you're investing up to 25 grand, they charge you 0.35%. Just a bit of a mention and a shout out to Vanguard. So if we start at the very start, when you log on to vanguard.co.uk, on the top right-hand corner, it says open an account. So you click that. They will ask you, are you a current Vanguard holder? Most likely not if you're starting from scratch. If you scroll down, this is where you see stocks and shares ISA. And if you're not totally sure what the hell an ISA is, I do a video on this explaining what it is, but just a quick roundup. It's essentially a special savings account that you can have. And you can invest, it says it here, you can invest up to 20 grand tax-free in a certain tax year. So for example, if it's the new tax year and you've decided to put in 20 grand into an ISA, and let's say you earn 10 grand on that investment over 5 years or something, okay? So now your investment's gone from 20 grand to 30 grand because you've earned 10 grand. In other accounts that are not ISAs, you would have to pay tax on that gain that you've had there. But when the money grows inside an ISA, which is just an account basically, a special account, you get to keep all that money tax-free, which is great. So you have all of that 30 grand. If you wanted to take it out of the ISA into your own bank account, into your pocket, you get all of that. Also, if you scroll down, there is a junior ISA as well. So if you're a parent, if you've got kiddies, or if you're pregnant or thinking of having kiddos soon, this is a great thing that not a lot of people know about. So again, this is a UK-based thing. But you can have an adult stocks and shares ISA as normal, and you can also have a junior ISA, which is for your kiddo. And in this, you can invest or save up to 9 grand per year, just to show you what that means. So I'm going into this compound interest calculator, okay, and it will show you how much money that could give to your child if you wanted to do it. If you don't have a child, it's the same principle if you want to invest the same money in a normal stocks and shares ISA. But just to show you, if you start off with £0, okay, you're starting new to investing, okay, I'm going to put in an 8% interest rate, which is usually, over time, over a 20-year period or so, is, the average interest rate of an S&P 500 index tracker. But I'm just going to put an assumption here of 8%, okay? And let's say, for example, you want to invest over the next 18 years, okay? And you are going to max out the junior ISA, which was 9,000. Obviously, if you have stocks and shares, you can max it out to even more. But we're just going to use this as an example. So you start off with £0, and then 18 years later, when you max it out, you will have £347,000 there. So if you had a kid, for example, and you started investing from the day they were born up to their 18th birthday, this is how much money that you could give them as a big gift to buy a house, invest in their future, anything they wanted to do. Essentially, you're kind of setting them up. It's an amazing incentive to have. Similarly, if you are an adult and you don't have kiddos and you want to max out your stocks and shares ISA, which I said is 20 grand, okay? And if you are 20 now and you want to do it for the next 18 years again, so you'd be 20 up to 38, you will have you will have nearly 800 grand based on these returns. And it's not so crazy to think about. I mean, yes, this is a lot of money, 20 grand a year. If you divide that by 12, this is how much you would have to invest every month, which is a lot. But even if you have that amount, you would still have, 300 or 400,000 pounds, after 18 years. So it's great. And as you can see, the majority of this is interest. So of that 771 grand, 411,000 pounds of that is interest. So this is a great calculator. Have a play. I'll put a link in the description below, but it just shows you, based on how much you're able to afford right now to invest, what that would look like in a certain amount of years' time. And I play with this all day, every day. I love it. It's great. So let's get back to the Vanguard stocks and shares. So you click open a stocks and shares ISA, and then from here it gives you two different options. So it says you can either start with a payment or you can transfer your ISA over. So we're ignoring this one because we don't have an ISA yet. We're building one from scratch. So you can either, set up an ISA with a single payment of £500, or you can set up a monthly payment. I would recommend a monthly payment. So you can set up £100 every month, goes from your current account into your stocks and shares ISA. You don't even have to think about it. It's automatically going in there. And what that means then, it's actually called dollar cost averaging or pound cost averaging if you're in the UK. So what we're going to do is start with a payment here and click continue. And there's also two different options here you can go for. You can either do it yourself, choose your own investments, or, Vanguard offered this like management fee kind of managed accounts kind of thing. I would say, honestly, don't be afraid to click do it yourself. That's what I did. That's what I would recommend if I was doing it, again, myself. And what this means is basically, let's say you just want to invest in the S&P 500. You've done your research and that's what you want to invest in. You can just do that yourself because you just want to click S&P 500, less expensive. You click continue and then you set up an account. Just to let you know, you do need these things to be able to do that. You need a national insurance number. So you will find that on a payslip. You need a debit card, details to be added in. They do not accept credit cards, okay? That may be obvious, that may be not, but you will need real cold hard cash in a debit card to be able to invest. And also you just need your bank details as well. Continue. And I've obviously already mentioned these, but this is what you will need to do and be to be eligible. So you need to be a UK tax resident and you're at least 18. Continue. And then you just add in login details. So you create a username. These are, the things that they require. It's really important to know and write down your username somewhere or just, have it locked in your brain somewhere because you will need that every time you log into your investments in the future. So it's quite important. Just add in a password, very straightforward. Add in your email address, confirm it, your UK mobile number, and then continue. Okay, so once you fill those in, you get to this page and you basically just fill in your title, your legal name that's on your passport, any middle names, last name. And then the next page is you enter in your address. Again, you just enter in your postcode and then it will pop up. And then the next page, you enter in your date of birth. Okay, once you've done that, it will bring you to this page and then you select your country of nationality. Now, because I'm Irish, I will put in Ireland, of course. We shall find it here somewhere. There we go. If you're any other nationality, you just click this button and add it in and then click continue. Now, this is where you enter in your national insurance number. If you're not sure where to find it, it actually tells you here. It's on your payslip or letters about tax or anything like that. So you just pop that in. Okay, great. So once you've put in your national insurance number, it will bring you to this. And in here, it says to choose your funds. Now, if you are going into this and you want to invest in the S&P 500 and you've done your own research on what that actually is, just as a recap, what it actually is 500 of the top companies in America is what you're investing into as a track. So a tracker, basically looks at, the market of those top 500 companies. in America and it tracks it basically. So if those 500 companies are doing well, the S&P 500 index fund or tracker will do well. And within those, you have the big boys like Amazon, Google, Johnson and Johnson, things like that. So it's a great one to have, and great investors over time, like Warren Buffett, would always say to invest in S&P 500 because you're basically investing in the American economy, which is pretty strong. Of course, with investing, there are dips, so do your research on it. But if we go with that one, let's say, if you're interested to read more on those, you can have a look. So what you want to do is in the build your own portfolio, you want to click on equity, which is the same thing as stocks and shares. That's just the same wording that they have. You click the arrow and you will see every bit of, stock under the sun here that falls into this. So there's obviously things like the FTSE, which is the UK version of the S&P 500, but it's for the top 100 companies in the UK. So you can invest in that if you want to, but we want to scroll way down. They've obviously put all the UK stuff at the top, but we want to look at the S&P 500. Okay, so there's two different types here. There's the accumulating one, and then there's the distributing one. Now, what are the difference between those two? Well, I've got a snippet here. Hopefully you can see it pop up, but if not, I'll read it out. So the difference between these are with the accumulating ETF, what that means is that it's going to reinvest the dividends back into that pot of money. Okay, so you don't get dividends of £100 here, £10 here, paid into your bank account. It just goes straight back into your stocks and shares ISA. The distributing one means that you will get dividends paid out to you rather than it go back into the stocks and shares ISA. So just a bit of a preference as to which one you prefer. I'm going to go with accumulating on this one. So if we click tick, yes, it says we've selected the fund, so click continue. And what you want to do here, there's two options. As I said, you can either put in a flat amount of £500 one-off, if you're just testing the waters. That's the minimum, or else you can put in a monthly payment, which is what I would recommend if I was doing it all over again, because then, it's sitting in the background and just, going in every month. So I'm going to do monthly and I'm going to put in £100 every month. And then all you do is select what day of the month you want it to come out. And I want it to come out on the first of every month. Then you click continue. And then Vanguard are very good. They've said, okay, just so you're aware, these are all the costs and charges that you have, which of course you can click and read about it. So what it's going to cost you is this. So 0.07% is the cost on the S&P 500 stock here that you want to invest in. Okay. There's also account fees as well. So it's 0.15% overall. So very, very small fees, but they just tell you what those are. Click continue. Just saying again, you're setting up a direct debit. It will come out the first of every month. Then all you do is put in your bank account details. So where it's going to come from your current account into here. I'm not going to fill this in at the minute because I already have an account and it will just confuse things further. But then all you do is click continue, click another button to say yes, and then that's it. It's set up. And honestly, it takes less than 10 minutes to set up. As long as you've got your national insurance number, your bank account details, and you've got, you know which one you're going to go for. There is a lot of different stocks in the Vanguard as well as the other ones, but just do your research before you go into it, and hopefully that was helpful.